Tim Schulz. He's the founder, president of Rush Soccer USA. He's a former US women's national team coach for FIFA Under-20 World Cup. He's the former head coach of the Region 4 Olympic Development Program. He's the former assistant coach for the US Under-18 men's national team. He's the former US men's national team coach, and he's also a former MLS club player. Let's give a big round of applause.
Thank you so much for having me. Let me start off with incredible similarities. Going back when I was playing in high school in club soccer and where the United States was. And I'm going to show my age here. I graduated in 1980 from high school. So the years 72 through 1980, so similar stories here of tough fields to play on, and lack of coaching, hard to find a soccer game. And what I look at is, this is United States 30 years ago. And there's so much that I would love to talk about. We got to limit it to 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but it's just amazing. So I asked Dennis to come up with me because, Mumbai Rush is Dennis. Why did I come back to India 5 years later? It's really a friendship that we've developed over the years, and I heard that mentioned many times. I look around the room here, and we have friends in the room. We developed a relationship starting 5 years ago. It was a common friend that introduced us out of Utah. His name is Elvis Goes, who lives down in Goa. So let me see that first slide. Purpose of my visit. I'm here because Dennis invited me. He wanted me to come back and look at his club. Dennis, I'm saying this to you. 5 years ago, I got on my plane and I just said, good luck. No fields, no jerseys, no kids, no coaches, no money. And I come back 5 years later, and you share with me some of the things that you've done. I saw a beautiful field. I think you're at about 400 kids. You got a coaching staff in this room that is incredible. Everything that the gentleman been talking about, this guy right to my left, your right, has put it in place. So share a little bit.
Thank you. So 5 years back, this is where our journey started. India was looking ahead to host the 2017 World Cup. In 2012, they said it's going to be 5 years. And we said, can we take a cue from here? We reached out to Mr. Tim Schulz and he said, can you help us develop our children to go out to there and be out to there? But we told him that you come down to India, you look at the grounds that we have. We will not take you to the grass grounds. We will take you to the mud grounds. We will take you to the worst of the things that is there in India. To go down and see that. And you tell me, if your coaches, when they come down to India, will they be able to develop my players out here? Because we may not be able to get the kind of clubs and the kind of coaches that is there in the US. He said, eventually it may come. But today, can you help us out with your coaches, with your curriculum, and with your thoughts on this mud ground? Can we do it? 3 months after him going back, he said, but he stuck down to us. We waited for 3 months, and then we saw the transition happening. And children were wanting to go down and play that beautiful game. And we said, it's universal.
Dennis, let me interrupt you now, because I only got 10 minutes. So this was one of my points, and I heard it very loud and clear. Hey, be careful bringing outside people all the time. And I mean this jokingly, and I mean it serious too. This is your country. All we can do is bring in some ideas. I'm frustrated with the United States a little bit. We have too many people from out. You guys know your culture. You know what's good, what's right, what's wrong. How to discipline a kid. Where it's different in Africa. It's different in the United States. It's different around the world. So we can share football. We can share how to kick the ball, how to do tactics, how the referee rules are all the same. But we got to come in and share ideas. And this is my next slide. You'll see coming up here is Rush Soccer is about sharing ideas. We're not bigger than Dennis. Dennis is not bigger than Ghana Rush or Brazil Rush. We all share ideas, and this is really special about the Rush organization.
That's what happened in the last 5 years, right? That you all came, you all gave the curriculum, but it was never the idea of retaining an international coach out here on a permanent contract, like Mr. Sajiprapakan said that. Because that coach is going to be coming out here. It will take him 6 months to understand the Indian school cycles,
right.
the monsoons out here, the grounds out here. The idea was to get our coaches to be in company of experts and grow from there. And today we have got a group of 14 coaches who are dealing with them on day-to-day basis. And this is one of the areas where we thought that we could collaborate and we could grow. And that is one of the reasons that we are growing up. Tim, to you.
So in 1994 we did the World Cup. It was fantastic. FIFA was generous enough to give it to us. And you look down in the stat here, the quote down at the bottom, American football, baseball, basketball, ice hockey, we're all above us. And now it's flip-flopped. Right now soccer is without a doubt #1 in the United States. This is one of our players, which is so important. We mentioned, was it Alex that scored the goal? Who scored the goal? Jackson. So Jackson needs to be your poster boy, because there's got to be 100,000 kids more following in his footsteps. It is important that you create this passion. I don't care if he scored 1 goal or 1 million goals. You can create this guy to be a giant. And then you'll see history has proven itself. Many more follow. Just flocks and droves come following. This boy was our first kid to come out of the Rush system. And right after him,
When you said about social media, okay, and when you said the leader has to come, the poster boy has to come from in-house, we found it a fantastic job when they did the women's league. It was a 2-month league, but even fantastic was the kind of social media coverage it was done. Day-to-day basis, the stories, the photographs, the videos that were going. So probably there were very few people in the as spectators. At the beginning, when we feel that this is how things should go ahead, and you are absolutely right on that. And I suppose our association is doing a fantastic job in that area.
So around the world, gals are playing. We got 4.2 million players playing in the United States, registered, old, young, all over the map. 2.5 are male and then 1.7 female. Here's a list of players that have played in the professional ranks national team. One of those gals up there is our national team player, Lindsay, player of the tournament in a national event. And first player, check this out, gals. Talk to all.
When FIFA has been doing the 2-month league, even my I-League for boys is not 2 months. It hardly gets over in 2 weeks. And FIFA, the way they manage the tournament this time, the kind of importance, because we were thinking 4 years back, we should have only boys team. Why should I have a girls team when it is only a 15-day tournament in a year? But today the way we are looking at it, within 4 months time, it's the second league that has happened by FIFA. And now when I'm looking at, and when we put up for tryouts, the kind of girls that the turnout that was there for the tryouts was huge. So I feel what you're saying is right. 50% of the population in any country is males versus female, and if we have to grow football, it is not only the male, but we have to also look out at the other side. They have also the right to play.
So check out this next slide, and it's real important that I think India hears this. United States did a great job on tournaments, coaching education, national teams. They didn't do a good job on club development. And that's when Rush kind of found this niche 15 years ago. We said, well, we think we know how to run a club. We're based out of Denver, Colorado. And we did a really good job on not just producing players, but the structure and organization of how a club operates. I don't know how India operates, and I don't know how Ghana operates, and I don't know how Brazil operates. You got to implement what you do as a club as well. It's not just about developing players, it's about developing the entire club. Because if you protect your coaches and take care of your coaches, they're your bosses, they're your leaders, they're your teachers, they're the role models. These kids are not going to be great unless the coach meets them halfway. Only great things can happen when a great leader meets a great student or a potential great student. So is this Mumbai Rush in the middle here, and then you're branching out, and can the Federation help you? And the answer should be yes. You have to develop a club so that the player can develop in that environment.
So AFF, with the new accreditation policies that they came out, really helped out in this particular structuring. Because earlier when we were looking at how should a club be, what should the guideline or the standardization should be. But 3 years back, they gave us a set of lists and they said the club should have so and so things. And then only you can become a club. But what they kept on doing was every year, they kept on putting in 2 new pieces of regulations over there. It helped us. Like the latest one this year was the player should have his ECG and echocardio done before he comes down to a tournament. It helped us a lot. Now FIFA has come down with your club accreditation. Again, so what is happening is more and more standardization is happening and absolutely in the right direction.
So we started expanding around the world. The United States is filled with foreigners, and it's very exciting to see all the melting pot going on and all the different cultures conglomerate in the United States. And not too long, people would come to me and say, "Hey, I got a brother in Senegal, or my family is from pick another country, Bolivia," and we would start a club there. And back to the point where, be careful, Tim, going in there and saying this is how it's done. Brazil can't even do that, or Germany can't. Some of the world powers can't say this is how it's done. We can help, we can share, and we can give advice to each other, player exchanges, coaching ideas. But hey, stay out of the cultural side of things. Their own country knows best. And when we did it that way, you have examples like India Rush.
Yeah. So your Bangalore, when it comes down to culture, the tradition, like the biggest challenge that we had was a child coming on time onto the ground. So what we in India used to call it IST, the Indian Stretchable Time. And what we always found out
was that after I saw your traffic, you can't blame us.
Absolutely. So that
I was late to everything that you had to come to. Actually, 2 hours early.
2 hours a day. Okay. And that's what. So if the coach has not lived his life up to here, probably does not understand this aspect of it. So once, and what you're rightly saying is that the coach has to come from here, because it is not only about what he does on the ground, but it is also everything besides that.
Very good. Next slide, please. This is one of my favorite programs. You know, I randomly bring it up because one of our main duties in this world is to help other people. In the United States, we're required to buy a jersey every 2 years. So we came up with this very cool program of collecting our jerseys. We have 35,000 kids playing in the United States. Multiply that times 2, that's 70,000 jerseys with shorts, shoes, balls, and we take them around the world. And we've been expanding to some of these countries that are in need of help.
Yeah. So we have followed your program, and that is where a lot of our success for India Rush has come to the parents who have been here. They have been contributing in their capacity, whether it is in terms of the kids or in their time. The volunteering system, which was not existing about maybe 5-6 years back, has grown up phenomenally now.
So Dennis, you might kill me for saying this, but he has a program in his own club that does this. Some of the people in this room that are a little bit more fortunate with your finances, he skims off a little bit and helps the kids that can't afford it. And now these kids, socially, they could care less. They're there to kick a ball, but maybe a kid that can afford it is there because Dennis allows it to happen.
Yeah. So we came up with this concept called means and ability. So if the player is able to play and is able to pay, then he needs to pay. But if the player is able to play and he cannot pay, then he doesn't pay. Because we wouldn't want to take the right away from the child to play on the ground just because he does not.
Sure, we want to play on the national team, but let's be fair, those bottom core values are way more important. So we want to have a pro team at the top of the pyramid, and we don't care where it is. We want these 40,000 kids to have something to aspire to play towards.
Yeah. So it was nice of you to mention about the core values which Rush promotes, those 11 core values. Probably someone introduced me to those core values when I was 20, and I have Father Lawrence uncle here who instilled that thing over 20 years back to me. What we are doing today is probably we are giving back. We are able to connect to all of those things to what you are saying is probably because we received it some time ago. And now what the idea is to share it and take it ahead.
Last slide, and then we'll wrap it up. You know, here's the thought on this one. 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, I started off the discussion that this is where I think India is at. And you're at a stage where incredible, cool things can happen. Come where I was at with the United States, relatively speaking. You're at a place where an enormous amount of potential is there. In 5 years, I see what one man has done, several of his helpers, of course. In 5 years, I see an enormous change. I see kids that are organized, disciplined, apply the core values, can kick a ball, which is the key, and they're part of something. They're part of a club that is very important to a child. It's not that they play on a one-time game and then they go back home and they're lost again. This is their jersey, and you see Messi kiss his shirt, or one of these great players, they go up and hug their teammates. They're a part of a family, and that is what is going on with the Rush. When we saw the picture certificate, it's got to be something that they love.
Yeah, and this is what you exactly saw 5 years back, and today when you have come down and you've traveled from Kulaba, that's Kuparate, you've been down to Kalyan, you've been to all those places and you've seen the response of the children today. It's magnified or amplified from what you had seen probably 5 years back.
Absolutely.
And one of the key reasons is, as we were saying, was that this World Cup. It may not be the sole reason, but there was something to see, something to look, something to get inspired upon, and for people to come down together, and like Mr. Henry Manis and Mr. Sajid Prabhakar, all of them have shared that they took a huge task and believed into that cause to make that thing happen. The Mumbai District Federation, they took up this task. They started with under 16 league. So the structure is coming. The number of children are increasing. And if you see the stats what was shown, that Mumbai is leading the way out over there. Kolhapur is not behind. Kolhapur, if you see the spectators, they are huge out over there. So it is growing.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Tim Schulz, and I hope I pronounced the last name right.
Schulz.
Schulz. Okay, there you go. So this is exactly what they must feel when we have names like Ramakrishna, Narayanan and stuff like that, and they're like looking at that and you have no idea how to pronounce it. So I hopefully now we'll get it right.